Hello, Facebook. Good to be back. Good to see you. I can't see you, let's be honest. I can see a little black circle on my phone, but I'm gonna look right at you. Okay, so while everyone's coming in, I realize that most of you are watching this as a replay later, but for those of you who are watching live, hello, welcome. If you're watching it later, I am so glad that you're here as well. And I don't really, do we know how to share? Is that a thing?
We're going to do it right now.
No, I mean, are we?
For them to push share?
Yeah, do they do that?
I think you can.
If you know how to share, if you, as you're watching this, or right now, if you just have a good vibe and feeling that this is going to be awesome content, then share it. That would be awesome with your friends. I don't know how to do it though, so I'm kind of useless.
Just tap share.
Tap share.
Sharing is caring.
It can be fun.
Sharing is caring. Wendy said so. Wendy's here, Race is here, and they're going to be watching for your comments and questions. But really, I think that if I stay as focused as possible and going through all of this content that we've prepared for you, then we can keep this not 3.5 hours long because it has the potential. There's so much good stuff, you guys. I'm excited to talk about this. So please feel free to chime in. After the broadcast, I'm definitely going to watch, go back and look at all of your comments and questions to see what the discussion was. But there will probably just be a few times that Race or Wendy might catch one of your questions or comments and chime in with that, just because there is so much to go through. So if you would like to go ahead and chime in with where you are watching from, that's always fun for us to see that, and for each other. You can kind of know where everyone is in the world. And also, before we dive into the real topic, hello, did you see the new announcement today? Have you seen it with the Project Life app? Pick, Tap, Go, my favorite photo editing app, is now integrated. It's a beautiful little marriage between Project Life and Pick, Tap, Go, you guys. What? That's amazing. It's so exciting. That means that you can edit right in the Project Life app. You can edit your photos right there with the Pick, Tap, Go app. This is for our iOS app users specifically, because Pick, Tap, Go is not available for Android. But anyway, that's not today's topic, but that is today's good news. That is seriously good news.
That's
Everyone's
awesome.
Really stoked and happy dancing all over the world. All right, so I have notes to make sure I don't miss stuff. What we're talking about today is it's back to school. So our kids went back to school last week and this week here in Arizona, right? Isn't it kind of like in these couple of weeks, my kids are already back. And that's crazy town, because that came out of nowhere. I feel like, holy cow, it's here. And then most of you watching have not yet started that new year. So we feel like this is a good time to just talk about this as we are either preparing for the new school year or as we have just begun. I want to share my top 10 favorite must-know tips for you, mom. These tips are not for your kids, they're for you, mom, or dad, because I know some of you might be dad who have those responsibilities at home, but since we know statistically and analytically that most of you are women, that's just our demographic, so that's why I say mom, but really, mom or dad, we love you all. If you are a caring, loving parent, this is for you. All right, here we go. So a couple things I wanted to say before we dive into those top 10 tips. I really want you to feel very excited about this school year with your kids. I don't want you to feel frazzled. I have felt both. There have been years that have started, the school year started, and I'm like pulling my hair out because I feel like it's chaos, there's so much going on, there's a flood of information coming into my inbox and coming home with my kids' backpacks, and it's crazy. And then there's some years that if I'm really following the tips that I'm going to share with you, I'm feeling like I'm on top of the world, I've got my act together, I feel organized about how I, as a mom, am running the household in terms of like my schedule with the kids and their paperwork that's coming home and all that good stuff. So you're going to hear a ton of information. I narrowed it down to 10, but within each of those 10 tips, there's like several little nuggets. Here's my challenge for you. Do not feel that this is a do-it-all kind of thing. Promise? Promise me that. This is more of a listen, watch, absorb, soak it in, and whatever few things, or maybe just one thing that stands out to you is because you specifically needed to feel that or hear that or watch that. So please don't make this a big to-do list in your life. That's the last thing that you or I need. It really is just, I want to spark something in your mind or your heart. I want you to just kind of go, that is something I can do, and I can do it straight away, and I'm going to do it really well, okay? So even if you just have a couple of those, that's great. Okay, Another couple quick notes. We are going to actually put all this information in a blog post. And what's cool about doing this on Facebook Live first is that when you do chime in with your thoughts or ideas, and please do, even if I'm not responding to everything, we're going to implement some of that into the blog post. And so when this is done and we take a little bit of time, it could be a week or so, to really pull it all together and integrate it with our content that we've already gathered, that's going to be a pretty awesome blog post that you can go back and refer to. So don't feel like you have to take extenuous, is that a word?
Extensive?
Extensive? Well, can extenuous be a word?
We can make it a word.
Is it not? Extenuous?
I haven't.
Grace?
In a Wikipedia page that I'm totally about to make. It'll be over.
It will be a word after today.
Hey, don't feel like you have to take extenuous notes. Okay, you don't have to feel like you have to take extensive notes. We'll go with that. I don't know, extenuous is kind of cute. We'll go with that. All right, because it will all be in a blog post. All right, so as we jump in, this is what I want you to think. Go Stephen Covey with me for just a minute, because I always do this, and it's something that I believe is very effective. No pun intended. Begin with the end in mind. Okay, so when you are kicking off this school year, whether you've already started or you're about to start, begin with the end in mind. What I mean by the end in this context is think about the end of the school year, or think about a few months from now. What are you feeling like? Do you want to feel frazzled? I don't think so. Do you want to feel like I own this? Like I've got this, I know what I'm doing, I feel really great about how I'm interacting with the kids, I'm not screaming and yelling because I'm so stressed out all the time. No, you don't want that. And so when you begin with the end in mind, it really helps you to focus in on what's important and what makes sense for your family, and then you can just run with it. On that note, by the way, this is not one of my 10 tips, but this is the 11th, and I'm going to put it first. There's a book called Love and Logic. Have you guys read that? I read it so long ago. I don't remember when. I don't even remember where I heard it, but most of you have probably heard of it. If you've never read it, take time to read this very easy to read book, Love and Logic. I'm not going to expand on it anymore. I'm just saying that from a parenting perspective, and because we're all moms and a few dads around here talking about this, I'm going to recommend you read that book. Are you ready? Can we dive into this? Can we go? All right. So Wendy's going to be handing me some props. So this is a prop-heavy, little visual aid type of broadcast that we're going to have so much fun with. So I'm going to dive into the first tip, all right? Tip number 1. We have, thank you, Vanna.
Yes.
Some people won't know who Vanna is. I just realized that. I just ate it myself. That's extenuous. Wait, is that the word I used? Okay, I gotta stay focused. All right, so I shared something on social media recently that captured a lot of your attention, so I'm gonna explain a little bit more. Okay, so this is, tip number 1 is having a daily chart. Now, Rach, you'll have to tell me if the glare is, how are we?
I can see it pretty good.
Can you see you, and is it like reflecting?
No, you're fine.
All right, this is okay? Okay, this is the Higgins family daily chart. And I know you can't read everything up close, so I'll read it to you and tell you what this is. This is glass, white frame, picked it up at Target. This is an 8.5 by 11, quick little simple chart that I just did in Pages, or you can do it in Word. And it has my kids' names across the top, Porter, Claire, Crew, and across the left-hand side is the daily things that I expect them to do, for the most part. On occasion, when it just doesn't apply to that day, we just put a line through because we don't expect them to do it that day for whatever reason. All right, so I pulled this off my wall. This hangs in our home office just because it's a very central place. On the back here, you can even see Velcro on all around the frame because I just pulled it off my wall. I love, it's not Velcro, I gotta stop calling it that. It's 3M command strips. Okay, that's what those are, but that's how I stick things on wall, okay? Back to the chart. This helps us keep track of everything. This also has Velcro on the back. This, right here, is holding dry erase markers, and hello, it's a toothbrush holder. And the reason I got a toothbrush holder is because I was looking for something square to just put on the wall next to this. So see, it goes like this on my wall. This is hung at my kids' level. Okay, so it's not like it's up high, it's not too low, it's perfectly in the middle of wherever their height is. And the purpose of this, as you can imagine, is to keep my kids on task. Help them remember what they need to do so I don't have to remember myself. I have this philosophy: the more I can get out of my brain and put on paper, or out of my brain and someone else's brain, or like my kids, or on paper or whatever, the more it frees up my head to think clearly, to be creative, to do those things that I'm supposed to be doing. And so I believe in writing things down. So when I say, hey, that's great, you want to go outside and go rollerblading, how's your list looking? That's all I have to say. They go to their list, they look, and they see where they've checked it, where they haven't, and what they still need to do. So what I have, and this is personal, guys, have a little family council with your family and together with your kids for accountability reasons. Have them work with you on what they think and what you guys all think the list should be. So ours includes personal prayer, clear breakfast dishes, unload the dishwasher, brush teeth in the morning, make your bed, tidy your room, positive attitude with a smiley face, super important, food and water for school, like if they're packing their lunch or getting their water bottle, anyway, we know what it means, walk dogs, read scriptures, homework, chore of the day, brush teeth, and then we call it study gospel. That's something extra on top of our family scripture reading that we have the kids do. Okay, so that's the Higgins family. You do what works for you. And then the whole point of dry erase, as you know, is that when they check, and they go through things, then we just clear it for the next day, and there you go. Okay, so there's that. This was the one that we used for the summer, so it's a little bit different. So this little paper we just change out in the frame whenever we need to. All right. Let me make sure that I am not missing anything. Okay. Wait, not ready for that yet. Here, I'm gonna put that there. Okay. So the second thing is teacher gifts. I want to talk about that really quickly. I got some feedback from friends. So I have actually several teacher friends, and I tapped into their brains and said, what gifts have meant the most to you and what's helpful? And I think at the beginning of a new school year, it's a really good idea to, more important than anything, establish that relationship with your child's teacher. Make sure they know who you are. Make sure they know that you are invested and that you are available to help, however available you are, right? You don't have to give them a gift at the beginning of the year. That's not what I'm suggesting, although I think that teachers are so deserving of our appreciation in any form that you deem appropriate, right? So if you do want to give a little gift in some way, here are some suggestions that I got from friends who either have given gifts or have received them as teachers, okay? Just to give you some ideas, just to get those wheels turning. Lush bath bombs, lip balm, cute post-it notes, a pack of thank you cards that they can use throughout the year. Make sure you remember the office staff, not just the teachers, so maybe just take a little something into the office staff if you're feeling inclined. Someone else says, we give quick, healthy snacks at the beginning of the year, especially because those first few days and weeks are so crazy for the teacher, and the last thing they or we need is just sugar all the time. So just thinking about healthy snacks. Gift cards are so appreciated. I can't speak for everybody, but I know most teachers that I know say that that's super helpful, especially something kind of broad and generic like Target or Walmart or someplace where they can get so many different types of things, whether it's personal for them or stuff that they need for the classroom. Scentsy, I've heard, now this is, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies that I'm talking about, but Scentsy is that company where you can actually like melt the wax and it smells the room as if you were burning a candle, but you can't burn candles because of the whole flame thing. It's a fire hazard in a lot of schools. So I thought that was a really good idea. And then another friend shared that she shares an interest questionnaire with each of her kids' teachers at the beginning of the year, basically saying, here's a one-page sheet, fill this out and tell me, just so I know now, your favorite, fill in the blank, favorite things to do or places to eat out or whatever, so that she's equipped from the beginning of the year knowing that for birthday or Christmas or end of year or whatever, that she's not just throwing Bath and Body soap at the teacher who can't handle smells like that. You know what I mean? That's just a silly example, but I thought that was really smart. Now, in our school, we actually have like the room moms kind of coordinate that. So if you're like a room mom or someone who kind of helps with the classroom, it's great to do that questionnaire with the teachers, but then share it with all of the parents in the classroom. I think that would be hugely valuable. All right, just to get your wheels turning. So last note on that, by the way, do not worry about creative presentation. This is not something that you need to put on Pinterest or even get inspired by Pinterest. Just be thoughtful with something that you feel like is valuable and hand it over. Don't worry about all the frou-frou, right? Okay, tip number 3, love notes. Let's talk about that for a minute. So I'm a big love note fan. I think it's a really good idea. And these are little reminders for our kids to know how we feel about them during the day. And they should already know without love note, but it's just that little reminder. And I think about being a younger version of myself, and that's just a cute idea. I would love to like receive notes in my lunchbox from mom. I think that's just adorable. So I know a lot of you are already doing something like this. So Wendy, have the lunchbox. Okay, so here's an example, and then the cards as well. So here's a lunchbox, just to give you a visual. It's Claire's. She fills it up. She has her lunch in here. Maybe she's packing it, and that's great. All you're doing is filling out one little Project Life card and writing a cute little note on it, and you're slipping it in the lunchbox. It's really just as simple as that. I want to show you, since a lot of you know what Project Life is, and you're already using Project Life and you have those cards, you don't need to buy anything new. Just use the cards that you already have and just write either I love you, or go specific and say this is one thing that I love about you, or here's what I hope happens today for you, or whatever, okay? That's between you and your child. I was looking at our Project Life themed packs, and I pulled out a handful that I think are just really cute if you do want to pick up some that are specifically for having on hand for love notes, okay? So some of my favorites. This one is called Inspiration, I think, yeah, Inspirational. Okay, just to give you an idea, and this one has kind of more motivating and inspirational messages. And Tony, our shop manager, told me that there are only 3 left of these in the shop currently, but she will order more. I'm just letting you know, if you run to the shop, you'll know what's there and what's not. Let me show you just a few more that I'm kind of like digging for this idea of love notes. We've got boy and girl, and I want to point out specifically that what I'm liking about these is they are a little bit younger. They're more kind of the younger kids. My understanding is that the girl is sold out at the moment and about to be back in stock, and then there's boy, and they're currently in stock. By the way, if you have never shopped at BeckyHiggins.com, it's really cool. If you go to see a product and it says that it's sold out, there's a little turquoise button in the corner that says email me when this comes in. You tap on that, put in your email address, and then we automatically send you that email when it shows up so that you can snatch it straight away. Kind of a cool feature. Okay, what else? We have teens. Hello. How many of you have teenagers? They're probably not so much gonna like the cute little adolescent teddy bears and, you know, cute young child stuff. So we have teen cards, of course we do, for boy and for girl. Use them either way, but those are kind of fun. And then these are, speaking of inspirational, this is a set that is called Christian. So it's upside down, the packaging. I'll show it to you this way. But for those of you who want to be even a little bit more religious with your messaging or your sharing with your kids. And then last but not least, but super obvious, school. All right, so we've got a pack of school themed cards. Okay, I so wish this were more interactive because I would love to stop talking for a minute and take questions and kind of go from there for a minute, but I cannot. I will keep talking. Are we good? Any questions?
Yeah. Oh, we have great feedback, but it'll go in the blog post.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Please keep coming with your feedback. That's awesome. All right, we're on number 4, paper organization, which means, oh, no, this is number 3 still. This is an add-on that I wanted to mention. This is why I have a list, and this is why we have Wendy here helping me out. Oh, I did have another note I wanted to say. This is an important one, actually. If you want to be intentional about sharing love notes with your kids, but you're like, oh shoot, I keep forgetting. Well, being intentional for a lot of us means writing it down. So if you want to put like a reminder on your calendar or your phone to send a little, alarm or reminder to you to say, write a note for so-and-so or whatever, if it's every day or if it's once a week or whatever, then do that. That's what being intentional is sometimes you just have to write it down and not feel bad about it. Because hello, I have a terrible memory. I have to write things down. That's why I'm a list maker. All right. Those dry erase markers, remember when I showed them to you? Okay. You do not have to do love notes in lunch boxes. Another way to express love in little, small, meaningful ways at home is something like this. Okay. Now, I wish I could tell you, thanks, I wish I could tell you where I got this printable. It was on Etsy, but it was years ago. And if you're on here, cute girl who made these, please chime in and let us know. but it's also something you can make yourself. This is a very simple, it says, I love you because, and it has a line. And you guessed it, it's behind the glass, which means I can use my dry erase marker, and I have one of these for each child. They would love it if I changed the message every single day, but sometimes I'm a slacker mom and I don't. Yeah, so I think it's really super fun to have this, and I have one for each child. They're hanging just kind of by our garage so the kids see it when they leave for school every day. And Wendy, I love you because you smell good.
I do smell good.
You do.
That's
There you
my
go.
talent.
Okay, next up for real, number 4, right? Can I move on?
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, next step or next tip is all about that paper organization coming home. Hello, it's overwhelming. Okay, so think about as the school year starts and your child or your children come home with a backpack and it's full of papers galore, information, handouts, fill this out, turn it back in, field trip, permission form, like all over the place. To me, it kind of like my heart rate goes up and I kind of start freaking out and I tell my kids I'm freaking out because of all these papers. And that's a true story because I don't like it, I don't like all the papers, but there is a way to manage it all. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my friends, my other list, because I did ask my friends, what do you do? What do you do and how do you manage all of that information, okay? So there's digital information like all the emails that come through as well as actual papers. And this applies to kind of both ideas, but I want you to again, kind of think about maybe 1 or 2 of these ideas that might work for you. So, friend says, paperwork gets filed or filled out immediately, and so if there is something that comes home that you need to sign and fill out, I have made this mistake so many times of not doing this, fill it out right then and there. Don't put it in a to-do pile, don't set it by your bedside thinking I'll get to it later, just do it right there, straight away, right back into your kid's backpack. This one I really like. When you get information about an upcoming field trip, events, concerts, whatever, my friend says add any important dates or contacts or class information on the calendar straight away. So here's case in point. Our school year started, before it started, I got emails from all the teachers and information, whatever. Immediately I went to my contacts or my address book on my Apple computer, and I added the teachers' information, how to reach them, and just stuff right there. And you know what I did with the paper? Well, I was talking about email, so I did not throw that email away. I deleted it. But physical papers that come home with the kids, same thing. Throw them away once you take care of that information and enter it on the calendar. Another idea, this is really kind of smart. If in your inbox you're getting bombarded with all those emails for your kids from teachers, set up a little what do you call those in an inbox? Folder.
Aha, a folder.
It is. Also, what's that thing that holds the dry erase markers? It's a toothbrush.
Holder.
Yeah, somebody commented.
No! How can you comment when the sound doesn't exist? Okay, if you missed out on what we're even talking about, I have a way of saying the OL sound that my whole staff makes fun of me for. There's a whole video on YouTube that we did. What's it called? Making fun of Becky's OL sound?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Anyway, over the shoulder boulder holder. Okay, so folder. Also known as folder. Okay, so create a folder for every child. So when those teachers email and this information comes in and you don't want to delete it, you actually have to keep it. You take it, you drag and drop, put it in the right folder. Am I saying it good now?
Yes, you are.
But I'm really intentional about
When
it?
you're intentional, you can do it.
I
You don't
can
have to
do
say it out loud.
anything.
That's right.
I can do anything.
Begin with the end in mind.
I'm beginning with the end in mind. Folder. All right, so folder. Okay, you file those things in each folder for each child, and in that way, you're not deleting it, you're not trashing it, it doesn't go away, but it's out of your inbox, your main inbox. I think that's really smart. Another similar concept, have one folder. Why does this word have to keep coming up?
Folders are very useful.
Yes, they are. Have one folder. Keep all school calendars, teachers' classroom rules, etc. Basically, all the essentials that come at the beginning of the year in that folder for that child, and just keep them there. So that if ever maybe there's disciplinary stuff, and your kid's like, but I didn't know I was supposed to, well, go to the folder, review the class rules together, and then you can prove them wrong. Okay. I'm not saying your child's a delinquent. I'm just saying stuff comes up. All right. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. Every day my kids, what?
No, you're doing good.
Oh, okay. Sometimes when my friends laugh at me, I don't know what's going on. I get all insecure. All right. So every day my kids bring me their backpack and I immediately go through it, sign papers, understand what's in there, and put everything back in the bags. And so kind of ties into what we talked about earlier, but it's doing it straight away, immediately, as soon as they come home, and not making it a thing that happens later. Each child has a drawer in the family office labeled with their name. It could just be with the other files that you have there. And then last tip I will share on this one, last sub-tip on the main tip, is, and Rach, you're going to love this one, somebody was suggesting using Siri and Alexa to help manage all of this. So if you guys, it's the Amazon Echo, also known as Alexa. Ours in our house is called Alexa. In fact, I feel weird saying it out loud because I think it's going to like talk back to me, but we don't have it in the conference room, so I think I'm safe. So for example, we're in the kitchen, we're discussing things. Hey Alexa, add milk to the grocery list. Or hey Alexa, add parent-teacher conferences on September 25th at 9 o'clock. It's amazing. Technology is amazing. Use it. It's amazing. The way that I use Siri, or Alexa rather, Amazon Echo the most is listening to music, jamming out during dinner. That's like, not during dinner when we're eating, but when I'm making dinner, that's my time. I just, we listen to music. So use it however it makes sense for you. Moving on. All right, tip number 5, which marks our halfway point. I didn't say that this was going to be quick. I got a lot of stuff to cover. All right, hopefully this is valuable to you so far. Tip number 5, one of my favorites. Listen up. No one ever said that you need to be a crazy creative scrapbooker. Now, I know that with the new school year, there's going to be art projects and papers and awards and great essays and whatever, right? All the stuff that your child's going to do because your child's so amazing. And that's super cool. But if you think for 1 second that you're supposed to do something super elaborate with all of that, no. I'm telling you right now, permission granted. You do not have to do anything crazy creative with it. So my personal belief is scrapbooking the easy way. The easy way. That's what I love to talk about the most, right? Keeping it easy. So I'm going to show you an example of one of my kids' actual scrapbooks. We're not going to flip through every page, but I want to at least paint a picture and give you an idea of what I'm talking about. There's 2 concepts, though, that I want to help you think through. There's scrapbooking along the way, or there's scrapbooking at the end of the school year. Now think about that for a minute, because what might work for one person is not going to work for the other, right? So for me, I don't actually put stuff in the scrapbook along the way. I promote the idea, and I think that makes sense for a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. For me, I like to not do anything in their scrapbooks the whole school year, because then at the end, I take that whole stack, which is kind of like this, of anything that got saved, and I go, okay, when you think about the whole 18 years of their childhood, do I really need this much of 4th grade? No, thank you. No, thank you. They don't even want that much stuff from 4th grade. So if you're able to, not diminish, what's the word?
Whittle it down.
Whittle it down. Decrease. Good. I need help with my vocabulary today. If you're able to whittle it down along the way, and you think that you can just, get rid of some stuff and not have too much, then you're set up for success. If you're like me and you're like, I just want to kind of keep everything or a lot of stuff and then I'll figure it out, then do it that way. Am I making any sense? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so make sure that you think about that for yourself. There's no right and wrong. Just do it in some way, but keep it simple. So, hold up. Hold up. Okay, an example of Porter's scrapbook. I wanted to show you. Can you see from here, Race? Like if it's in my lap, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to go too close up, again, just to give you an idea. But I want to remind you that this is a 12 by 12 album. It's one of ours from Project Life. But that doesn't mean that every page has to be 12 by 12. So you can see there are 8 by 10, an 8.5 by 11, 6 by 12. I have a lot of different sizes in here. And the reason for that is because then I can just slip stuff in without having to trim and cut and glue. And that's the whole point of Project Life. It's just slipping things in and getting it done, okay? So we've got a few incomplete pages here, which is not a problem at all. There's some stuff that I scanned and put in. Again, that was because I waited to the end of the year. But one thing I want to point out specifically is the envelope pages. These are gems. It's a self-closing flap, and it holds a whole bunch of stuff. So like this envelope page is full of all the random stuff from one school year in Porter's school life, okay? And then the tabs at the top, or rather they are called scrapbook dividers. Yes, thank you. At the top you can't see, but they say kindergarten, first grade, second grade. I tried to get a few years worth in one album, okay? So just to give you an idea. Now, Project Life, for those of you who are less familiar, back up. Okay, envelope pages. This is a value pack. We have several different sizes of envelope pages. These are hands down, the very best way that I love to store and keep memorabilia. And so just to give you an idea, here is the 12 by 12 size I showed you in Porter's album. This is 6 by 12, this is 6 by 6, and we have other sizes. And they're all great, and they're all fabulous for holding memorabilia. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Project Life, I'm going to just, for your visual, this is what I want you to search. Go to YouTube, go to the Becky Higgins channel, and there's a little video we made called Welcome to Project Life. That is an overview of what Project Life is, because it's available in physical, and digital, and app. And if you're like, wait, what? What are you talking about? It'll make so much sense when you watch that video. So a lot of you are already familiar with it, but for those of you who are not. The envelope pages and everything Project Life is on BeckyHiggins.com. It's in our shop. So you can also check it out at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Joanne, or any local craft and hobby store should be carrying Project Life. Now, if you are not into scrapbooking, so let's stop talking about Project Life for a second. This is another one of my very favorite ideas. I picked up these little journals from Target. Simple, easy. These are journals that I have for my kids. Now, before you think that I've gone crazy, little cuckoo with my over-documentation, I assure you, this makes so much sense for me. If you go to my blog, BeckyHiggins.com, if you go to the blog and search, we noticed journals. That's what I call these. So the idea, the premise with this is that every day, every couple times a week, whenever I think about it, I write one thing per child, this is Cruz, one thing I noticed about him that day. And that is my way of not feeling like I have to think of long stories and big descriptions, but just one quick thing that I noticed that day about each child. Right now, when I started doing this a couple years ago, I was doing it kind of almost every day. Now I'm like doing pretty good to do 2 or 3 times a week, and that's cool, right? That's better than nothing. And I cannot say enough about these. I love them. Okay, we're moving on to number 6. We're talking about photo tips. Now, I'm not going to go super specific here, but this is what I want you to think about and how I want to challenge you. It is so easy for moms and dads at the beginning of the school year when they're thinking about documenting and taking pictures and whatever. It's so easy to think about the first day of school or the fall concert or the field trip or these big events. But documenting our stories, and if you really think about what makes up who we are, the first day of school, the concert, the field trip, these things are fine and they're good experiences, and that's great. Sometimes not good experiences. But really, it's the everyday little things that make up who we are, that build our character. So my challenge to you is to think about the everyday, ordinary stuff that just happens in your child's world. Think about taking pictures while they're doing homework, or if they're struggling with an essay, look at them while they're sitting at the desk and they're down like this, and think to snap that. Turn your volume off. Don't let them know that you're taking pictures all the time. Don't be obsessive, right? That's weird. Don't do that. But
don't let them know you're obsessive.
Yeah, that's true. Don't let them know that you're being obsessive about taking the pictures. Good point, Wendy. But you do want to document the little everyday things, and I really don't want you to go overboard with this, but I do want you to think differently about how you take pictures. All right. So because I'm not going into specifics now, I want you to remember this. Okay, hashtag BH photo tips. On a very regular basis, I'm sharing photo tips on Instagram and Facebook. It's in both places. And the reason I do this is completely out of a desire to inspire you to take pictures that maybe you hadn't thought of. So I don't get super technical with these photo tips. I'm not talking about settings all the time. I'm talking about, did you think about taking this type of picture? Are you thinking about documenting this stuff in your life? Are you thinking about different angles? Try this angle, try this composition. Nothing super crazy technical, but really good inspiration. So I want you to check that out. All right, we are on to, one specific photo idea for sure. When you are back to school shopping, that is such a fond childhood memory for me, and I don't have a single picture of it. My parents did awesome with taking like really cool ordinary pictures, but that's one that I would have loved to have seen me in the aisle with all of the supplies, and I just, you know, it's changed so much over the years, and so I want you to take that picture. Back to school shopping. All right, number 7.
You're getting there.
This is too long. How long have we been going? How long are we? Started like quarter after?
Don't think about it.
Oh, I'm not going to think about it. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm not thinking about it.
I'm afraid to look at mine.
Okay. Tip number 7 is to interview your child. This is a great time to think about asking your kids some questions in a formal little interview and capturing that. And so if you're really kind of starting out as a scrapbooker, or you've been doing it and you kind of fell off the wagon, you want to get back in, how about, let me just give you one little suggestion. Try to not stress about scrapbooking so much, and even just consider doing a simple interview. All right, so this is something that I think is great at the beginning of the school year for obvious reasons, and it acts as if it's like a little time capsule. And even if you look back at something like this in a year, it's still really funny and interesting, and your kids looking back will be like, I really said that? Yeah, you said that. You really did say that that was your favorite food, or that was where you wanted to get married when you grow up, or whatever. And so this is what it is. It's called All About, it's kind of like an All About Me interview, and I don't know how much glare I have. My kids just filled this out over the weekend. This is kind of one of our weekend projects. And it is 5 pages, and my kids can all write because they are 7 through 13. If you have little ones, ask them the questions and write down verbatim what they say. You write it down. Yeah, like so fun. So this is Cruz. I've got Claire's. I have Porter's. They are like so funny to read and really interesting, and some of them were quite insightful that I didn't expect. So where do you get this? Are you interested? Do you want to know where to get this? Do I have a little... Oh, hey, this is fun. So we brought all of our kids from the Becky Higgins staff into this spot right here. They all sat in this chair and took turns. And one-on-one little interviews with me, we asked them all of the questions that are on this PDF. And we made the cutest little video of our darlings. And we put it on YouTube. And you can search that by searching on the Becky Higgins channel, interview questions for kids. So fun, worth watching. Okay, the way you get this downloadable PDF is right here. You go to beckyhiggins.com/subscribe. That is it. You just go there. It takes about 5.5 seconds to just give us your email address, and we will automatically send that to you. Right, Race? Is it working properly? Yes? Awesome. Okay, so we will automatically send that to you because I want you to interview your kids. I want them to have this. It's 3 holes. Put it right in your scrapbook. Done. These, by the way, are our page protectors. So we don't have just photo pocket pages. We also do page protectors that are not divided at all. 8.5 by 11, 12 by 12, 8 by 10, 5 by 7. Both orientations. We have tons of them. All right. Let's see. Number 8. How do we manage the after-school chaos? What do they call that hour?
The witching hour.
The witching hour.
I'm familiar with it, obviously.
Tell me about it, Wendy. What is the witching hour
It's
like?
when everything is crazy.
Come in
Everyone
here.
is
Get it.
freaking
They want
out.
to see you. Come on in. Just come in. What is the witching hour, Wendy? Tell me. Cry on my shoulder.
Closer.
It's when everybody is a little bit on edge because
I'm
everybody's
never
coming into the home.
I'm not edgy ever.
They're hungry.
Mm-mm. I never
They
get
want their
hangry.
dinner.
No.
They want to shove their papers in your face. And the hubby's not home yet.
And then there's that.
Or
Sometimes
your
it's
wife.
worse. Yeah, or either way. Thank you. Yeah, the after school crazy witching hour. Yeah, like it's a thing, guys. It's a thing, and it's stressful. So how do you manage that? Let's go back to my friends again. Let's go back to them. These are some suggestions from real life moms and maybe a couple dads who are who are saying, you know what works for us? This. Hold on. Do I have it? Great. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Remember, not a long to-do list for you. Pay attention. One or two things might stand out to you. 15 minutes of snack time and then straight to homework. The reason I like that is 'cause I get that when my kids get home from school, they need to like de-brain. I'm all for that. Get a snack, de-brain, play for a minute, let me get situated back at home, and then we'll dive into stuff. And then time passes, and I check my email, and then they keep playing, and then it's like, it really becomes a witching hour because then I kind of feel flustered that I didn't make my plan for dinner, and they're not helping, and blah, 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 right? So just 15 minutes, set the timer if it's helpful for you, and then go straight into homework, and then after homework, play and relax. And by the way, again, these tips are from friends, so these are not rules according to Becky. These are great suggestions from a lot of different types of families. This is great. This mom says that she has a table prepared when her kids get home from school with yummy snacks and a small organizer with necessary supplies. That's kind of like crazy organized and awesome. So they're not raiding the pantry and finding the first Oreo cookie that they can find, but mom has prepared to say, here you go, you walk in the door and there's your spread of healthy snacks that she thinks you should have. Another mom says that during snack time, this is a great time to talk and connect. In our case, when I pick up kids from school, it's all about conversation in the car before we get home. They're trapped, I have them, they're in my mom minivan, and that's our time to really go through the day and talk, and then when we get home, it's all about the snack. So do what works for you. Someone else said that homework is done straight away, so it doesn't hang over their heads until nighttime. Another mom says, I absolutely do not talk on the phone or text or look at my phone during the time that is right after school. Right after school, the kids are coming home, you're all regrouping, and she's saying and suggesting, and I think it's actually kind of something I want to try and do, actually, is to be 100% where you are, which is present with your kids. Sometimes it's easy, I'm there. Sometimes it's easy to sneak a peek at what's going on in social media land or check that email and did so-and-so get back with me, but hey, if you're gonna be with your kids, be with your kids, right? Great suggestion. Someone else says no TV until after dinner and no video games during the week. Pretty solid, pretty straightforward. Great rule for their home and maybe one of yours as well. Someone else said routine is the boss in our house. And you guys know the psychology behind this, right? Routine is boss. Children thrive on routine. They thrive on parameters. They thrive on having healthy, well-balanced rules and schedules. They really, truly do. That is a proven fact. And by the way, my background is family science, not scrapbooking. That's actually what my degree is in family science. So I really did learn a lot about that. And the theory is truth, right? Kids thrive on routine. So this person who chimed in with her routine says, come home, dump sand out of shoes, wash hands, eat snack together, go through backpacks, music practice, 30 minutes of reading, and showers. Now, we're not that structured at our house, but if that's what works best for your kids and they thrive on that, then by all means, go for structure. All right, healthy protein right snacks. So yogurt, hard-boiled eggs, veggies and dips, smoothies, guacamole, peanut butter, nuts, etc. Things that have protein. Like I have fallen into that trap of just sugar after school because my kids are like, I'm gonna die. And it's so much easier to stop at McDonald's and pick up a cheap little ice cream cone or a donut from Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. And that's so not good. I've done that. And I don't feel good about that as a mom. I feel guilty, first of all. And secondly, I'm not helping my kids. If they have no protein in their body, then they are gonna be famished and then bugging me before dinner's ready, right? There's a reason why protein makes sense. Okay, let's see. An organized pantry is really key for another friend who chimed in saying that if it's organized and everything's there and ready, then the kids know where to go. And then somebody else says, I play classical music to help the kids relax during homework time. You know, when I read this, I'm like, that's not something I've done in a while. So I actually did that over the weekend when the kids filled out their interview sheets. I played classical music. And like, we were all feeling super good and relaxed and happy and smart, because listening to classical music makes you feel smart.
That's right.
Maybe that's why we're so smart. I raised my babies on Baby Einstein. You guys know what Baby Einstein is? Did you have Baby Einstein? You have to, you have to know about Baby Einstein. Oh, you have to know about it. Oh, and signing time. Signing time with Alex and Lee. Yeah. It's signing time with Alex and Lee. Okay, so signing time. Look that up. And Baby Einstein. That's for those of you who have really little kids. And Race has really little kids, so that's why I was bringing it up. You got to know about that, Race. Okay, you're welcome. The way to my boy's heart is with food. Okay, again, talking about food and how essential it is. I'm not going to tell anybody how they should be feeding their kids snacks after school, but I want you to really tune in to what makes sense for your kids to be eating after school. Somebody else says that we use morning for homework, chores, and practice time. That sounds intense. We're already up at 6 in the morning. Like, I can't imagine waking up earlier to do more, but you know what? It has made sense for their family to do that in the morning so that after school, it isn't the witching hour, and they are actually just having fun and playing. So that's cool. Okay. Onward, upward. Here we go. We are on, what are we on? Number 9?
Yep.
Number 9. Meal planning. Okay. I think not one of us in this conversation has ever, no, I just worded that wrong. I bet all of us who are in this conversation right now have experienced both ends of the spectrum. We've tried planning our meals, and sometimes maybe we're even good at it, and we really stink at planning our meals. And which one feels better? You know what I mean? If you're not planning, what's that saying? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Yeah, story of my life. If I don't plan my meals, I completely fail, so flat, on my face, in the mud fail. Like, terrible. If I plan, and I've got my game plan lined out, and especially if my family's been helpful, then hello, we're doing good. This is the last thing I want to go back to my friends, and I hope that you're enjoying my friends' feedback. And when I say my friends, I really mean the friends of the BH team, because we all ask, like, the coolest, most organized, most, like, with it mom friends, and maybe a couple dads, that can chime in and give us the input. And I loved reading through everybody's stuff. It's really cool. All right. Somebody says, meal plan every Sunday night. Okay, this is a calendared, pre-planned, it's going to happen. Sunday night is when we plan our week's meals. Our week's worth of meals. Okay. Somebody else says, I like to cook all of the meat for several days and just reheat it on the night that it's needed. I've never done that, but I have a lot of friends that do that. They just cook it all.
Well, if it's going to be in a casserole or something, I think pre-cooked meat is fine.
Yeah, but otherwise not so much. Yeah.
Not for me.
She's grossing out over there. Wendy says don't try that at home. No, I agree. If it's like a casserole or something, or like enchiladas, or I don't know. Keep easy meals on hand. Yeah, like, who has the easiest go-to meal? Like, it's just in your mind. Think of it real fast, or type it out. Tell me in the comments so everyone can see. Keeping these on hand. For example, taquitos, quesadillas, frozen pizza. Okay, not the healthiest idea, but one thing, also not the healthiest, but one thing that we do that's like our go-to easy is we have the, what's it called? It's like a tortellini at Costco. It's like filled with cheese.
Yeah, the cheese tortellinis.
Is it called cheese tortellini?
It's like
something.
5 cheese tortellini.
There's
a lot of cheese.
There's a lot of cheese inside that tortellini. So it's like 5 cheese tortellini and pesto. And you cook the tortellini for like 2 minutes, literally, because you can't overboil it. And then you drain it, you add the pesto, and then we throw in shredded chicken that we've got from a rotisserie chicken. Boom, done. Like, and then, we try to have vegetable salads, something with that as well. It's not just a full, like, carb meal, but
throw a tomato in that, and then it's all the food groups.
It is all the food groups. That's true. Did you hear that? Add a tomato for sure. Oh, show. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So make sure that you have like those easy meals always on hand. I try to cook on the weekend, and I double and triple up on recipes so we have plenty for a few days. That is brilliant if that works for your family. My husband cannot handle the idea of leftovers more than one time, and I mean, there's certain things I can eat a few times a week, but for the most part, we really thrive on variety. And so if making the same thing, it doesn't work. If you don't mind that, then this is brilliant, okay? Each day is a different breakfast, okay? So I don't have a lot of variety in my home for breakfast food, and I admire this very much, but they're saying one day is cereal, then oatmeal, then pancakes, then eggs, then egg casserole. And this friend just has it on a system, and it's just rotating, so she's never thinking about it, nor is she reaching for cold cereal every morning. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Except there is, and so that's why I feel guilty every time we eat cold cereal, but hey. That's what we do. All right, somebody else says, for lunches, they are the same each week. At the beginning of the year, I prep a ton of handwritten notes on Project Life cards to add to their lunches as well. This came from the same person. Brilliant. So she's not only planning out lunches, and they're just the same all the time, and her kids are happy with it. If they need to adjust, they will. But she's also stocking up on a whole bunch of like pre-written Project Life cards. That's really fun. Someone else loves emails. You guys know what emails is? Do you guys know what it is? Dave Ramsey talks about it. E-meals with a Z. Or did they change it to the S? They've been around for years now. I can't remember. I've actually done emails. Go to emails.com. I'm not sponsored with anything, guys, just so you know. I just like it. I think it's really smart. In fact, you guys would love it. And so what you do is you go on emails.com and you say, we are gluten-free, or we're paleo, or we're whatever, we don't care, or we're low-fat, or whatever. And it gives you the full, like here's a week's worth of meals and all of the groceries that you need. Boom, done, one document, you go to the store, you get all that stuff, and your meals are planned for you. Smart, and it's cheap. I don't know how much it is these days. If you guys know, chime in, but when I tried it out, I think it was like $5 a month. Like something crazy. Okay. Let's see. Okay, 2 more things. On the busiest of nights, we use the crock pot. Yes, that makes sense. And then freezer meals. Now, I have tried this before as well. I haven't done it in a long time, but you get with a group of friends, you do the math, and you figure out, and everybody makes the same meal times, fill in the blank, however, like if there are 6 people in your group, I'm going to mass produce the meal that I'm in charge of, make it for 6 families. And then we all meet, we chat, we gab, we have fun, and we exchange those pre-frozen bags or packages or tin pan things. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And we exchange them so that when I come home from meeting with my girlfriends, I now have 6 different meals that are in my freezer and ready. And you know what? It's actually like, it worked. I haven't done it since, and I'm not interested in doing it right now at this phase of my life, but it's something worth trying if you think that, what is that called, co-op? Isn't that like a co-op thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys have to help me out.
That works. Co-op is a good word for that.
Oh my gosh, are we almost home yet? Okay, almost to the home stretch. Let's see, meal planning. Okay, last one, and we're almost done. Moms and a few dads, please, top 10, saving the 10th. It's the best one. The best tip is the last one, and that is what?
Did you show?
Oh, I'm gonna leave you on the edge of your seat. You're not even gonna know the 10th tip. Because I forgot to tell you. Thank you. Thank you. Speaking of recipes.
This is awesome. So you can't
thank you.
skip it.
I do love this. This is actually how I manage and organize and display and remember our family's favorite meals. This is our favorites, favorite meals. And so every time I'm like, what should we make? And I have the kids flip through this. They are picking out their favorite meals. Now, I made these pages with the Project Life app. Have you heard of it? I kind of love it. We kind of love it around here. These are app pages that were printed. We order the prints through the app, and they slip into page protectors, and that is what this is. So thanks for putting that back together.
What size this is.
Oh yeah, that's 8x8. That's the 8x8. You can make a bigger one, but I just wanted the little small one for my kitchen. Now, my beginning with the end in mind with the recipe book is that I wanted it to be in page protectors in the album so I can have them in and out and whatever. But when I have enough to fill a full book, and by then, and hopefully in the next couple months, we're going to be releasing the actual photo books through the app, then I'm going to print all of my favorite recipe pages like that in the photo book, and that is going to be something that each of my kids will have for sure. And awesome wedding gift or graduation gift. So, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, back to tip number 10. Did I get everything there? Mm-hmm. Tip number 10, and so important. Please, Mom, make time for you. We're all busy and we put other people first and we have jobs and we have kids and we're PTO and we're running here and there and we're doing all these things. But if we are not taking the time to make sense of our own schedules and doing things that we enjoy that recharge our batteries, then we cannot help those around us nearly as much. And so I really, really believe in that. This is the video that I made that's all about that topic. Okay, so if you go on YouTube and search Balancing Roles and Responsibilities on the Becky Higgins channel, this is a short little video that's super kind of fun to, super and kind of in the same sentence. Super fun, not kind of, it's super fun to watch. And it is like really truly my 7 favorite tips on how to achieve as best you can balance in all of your roles and responsibilities in life. Okay, those are my top 10. That's it. Holy cow, so much to share. Now if you're into screenshotting, right here is going to be your highlights. Is that in the frame, Race? Can they see that?
Perfect.
Okay, so this is back to school. 10 tips for mom or dad, whoever has the main responsibility with this stuff. Do these things, do none of them if they don't make sense for you. If you have another thing that we didn't cover, make sure that you chime in with what that idea is, because we are going to implement some of these ideas in the blog post. But if, like I said, if there's just 1 or 2 or 3 things that stood out to you with all of this nonstop talking that I just did, please, by all means, like take that 1 or 2 or 3 things and implement it and have fun and have like the best school year ever. All right, do I have to cover anything that was asked or?
No, I mean, somebody wanted to know, Brooke Jepson wanted to know where you got your chair.
Brooke Jepson, I got
On
this
topic.
chick. We can do it off topic for a minute. I mean, I feel like this has only been a 5-minute broadcast, so we've got all the time in the world. No, this is from, shoot, not Crowded, is it Crowded House? Hold on, no, Potato Barn.
Yes!
Potato Barn, not Pottery Barn, Potato Barn. It's in Arizona. So Brooke, get your behind back down to Arizona. You moved away, come back, and that's where I got this, although it's been a year. So anyway, that's where I got this. The shirt I got from Stitch Fix. I unboxed with you guys on Instagram stories, like the little live video clips that's new over there. I got this on Friday. So this is from Stitch Fix. This is from my girlfriend Lydia. I have no idea where she got it, but if you're asking these questions, what else?
And people are saying you look good, you're up and around.
Oh,
People
yeah.
are happy to see you up and about.
Thank you so much. I feel really good. I feel really, really good. In fact, I just saw a new dermatologist today, and that's a whole separate topic that I am so going to share because I want you guys to go to the dermatologist. So completely unrelated, but let's make it tip number 12 because I did 11 at the beginning.
Yeah.
Tip number 12, go get your annual checks or your regular checks. Go to the dermatologist, go to the OBGYN, go to your doctor, go to your dentist, go to your ophthalmologist or optometrist
If you're a
or
dad.
ophthalmologist.
Proctologist.
Proctologist, footologist.
Your husband is a doctor.
You don't need to visit your anesthesiologist. He'll just show up at your surgery. Go see whoever you need to see to get your regular checkups. If you are overdue for a mammogram or a colonoscopy, you guys, like for real, the kids are back in school. Make your appointments and go. Early detection is everything. And if you want to hear all about that, just go to my blog because isn't it right now at the top? Is
Yes.
that like the top?
Yep.
Okay. So on listening to your body, that is a topic that I shared yesterday. And by the way, last note, there were so many of you that shared that blog post. I'm seeing how many of you shared it on Facebook, and I really appreciate it because early detection is everything. And if anyone catches anything early because they heard about it from someone else to make that appointment, then by golly, we are helping each other out. So do it, okay? Promise me? All right. There you go. Peace out. Love ya. Thanks for being here. And we will put this on YouTube. I almost
It's already
forgot.
on Facebook. It will be there.
I was going to say, it's getting so late. It's not late. It's in the middle of the day. I've just been talking so much. All right. Thanks, you guys. See you later.